Welcome to the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener. I'm Joy Baird. Coming to the garden here for about one last time. Right before a cold snap hits, going to harvest some tomatoes. There's a couple that are still thriving. There's a couple of peppers, a few baby eggplants there. Now with these beans here, these were pole beans that didn't get harvested. Instead of pulling them down and taking them home and drying them out, or taking them inside, drying them out, just going to leave them. What we've done is we've left them before and then come back next spring, take everything that's down, plant it, and they grew just fine. So it's supposed to get frost tonight and then in the 20s middle or early next week. So everything's going to be done. So I'm going to harvest some yacons, the brussel sprouts, some peppers, some eggplants, leave the beans alone, harvest some tomatoes, and then just kind of walk away and come back next spring. I do have some leeks, very nice leeks here, that I will get around here. These are, look at the size of that leek, that's broom handle size there. So I'll get some of those as well and show you. I got to plant some garlic and kind of show you what I'm up to and kind of get things closed up. I'm just going to leave a lot of the plant life. Things I've already seeded. Just going to let it be. Let the birds, insects do what it needs to do, and then come in next spring and lay weed barrier down in these beds and then plant utilizing the weed barrier, because this was supposed to be bush beans and it was weeded pristine twice and just a mess. So that's what I'm up to. Okay, this is one area in which I'm going to plant the garlic. I've got last year or this past June's garlic, and then I got some a year ago June garlic. I'm going to plant the older stuff in one row and the newer stuff in the other. If you want to see a proper how to plant garlic, I'll link that in the show notes below and in the card above. We're just doing it vlog style today. And I'll get this planted, show you what I got before I cover it up. This will be one area, and I think I'm going to plant another couple rows somewhere else before I harvest the yacons and the leeks. And I do have, I'll show you over here, this is golden raspberries. We started out with 4 plants right through here, and that was like 2 years ago. You can see the rabbits have come in here and ate the tops off of this. They don't need a lot of support. I don't trim them back year after year. This was that raised bed there, but it got overtaken by Creeping Charlie and the raspberries, and they continue to migrate south. So, and we even have some of them that are ripe and ready to harvest. So those are really good. We had a bed there. That was an old door that we converted into a raised bed, but just going to harvest these here later. But I want to get the garlic planted right now, and then we'll go to getting the yacons harvested here to save not only tubers but the rhizomes for next year's planting. Okay, so there's the old garlic from a year plus ago, and that is the new garlic from this spring's harvest. Just kind of one clove about every 8 inches, and we'll cover it up and call that complete. And I'll find another place in order to plant some more garlic here to get rid of what I've got, because you can always find places and uses for garlic. You just planted, this is the last weekend in October, and we'll harvest it about the first weekend in July, last weekend in June. So I planted more garlic in the back of this bed here, and then I'm working through some of these leeks. Well, I'm going to harvest all of them, but you can see diameter wise it is the same diameter as my shovel handle there. There's some smaller ones, but that's the biggest one. But they're all very good quality. Just started from seed and threw them in the ground when they're just very, very fragile, and they all took off and done very good. I do have some onions that are just the bulbs there that I got to dig through and pull up. I've been harvesting them throughout the summer. So that's the leek harvest. This one here That's almost 18 inches long. Fun fact, all of this is edible, the leaves and everything. It's not just the bleached part or the white part, which for us is very little. All of this, the whole plant is edible. You scrub it out, clean it real good. That's got a lot of dirt on that. We cut that there and then rinse all the top off and just stir fry it. And it works very, very well. You don't waste any of the plant. Many countries in the world utilize the whole plant. United States, we were very taught to, oh, you can only use the white part. Well, you can use the whole plant. Last few tomatoes, some little eggplants, and the remaining rest of the peppers. Now I'm going to harvest the Brussels. Our Brussels sprouts didn't do as well as I would liked. We had a whole bed full of them. Then the rabbits came in before we got the fencing up and ate most of them down. I replanted the extra ones. Now I topped these, and you can see that that's a Brussels sprout there. It has morphed into the completion of a sprout. But topping them 45 to 60 days before you intend to harvest helps make the bulbs bigger. And we've got some decent bulbs on those. That one back there, tiny, but we'll salvage that one there. Nothing there at all. So just going to cut them, limb them out, and then take the stalk home. Okay, these are yacons. These are as well. These are a South American root crop that we got from a nursery that either I think is no longer in business or they don't carry these anymore in 2014, and continue to save the rhizomes year after year. And they are the tuber is like a sweet potato. I'll show you when I get them harvested. Like a watery apple carrot. They're quite good dehydrated as well. And what we do is I save the tubers because I'm the only one that enjoys them. And then I save the rhizomes and sell them in quantity on Macari in the spring to people all over the country, because apparently there's very, very few suppliers in the United States that sell yacon rhizomes. So apparently I'm supplying them, reestablishing the market of some sort. So these were very, very small throughout the year. We've had irrigation on them. And I'm expecting not to have very good tubers, but I'm expecting to have somewhat decent rhizomes. And I start about 20 plants in the spring for my use. And then whatever other rhizomes I have, I sell all of them, because otherwise they're just going to sit. And I'll put a link in the comments or the show notes below on how we actually harvest them and how we actually save the tubers or the rhizomes. So I'm going to cut them off. Now typically you would let these grow until the frost kills them. Well, tomorrow night is supposed to be 27 degrees. It's almost 70 today, so the bottom is going to fall out. So I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of them now so I can harvest them without any problem. Okay, got all of them harvested. I don't remember how many I had. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 12, somewhere in there. This is off of this bed here. Very good size yacons. They have like, I guess you could say like a water chestnut taste. And you see here the purple with the white dots, that's or the burgundy, that is the rhizome. So what I will do, I'm going to bag all this up or box all this up, take it in the house, let this set for 4 or 5 days to dry, trim all of this out, which you don't have to let it dry, but trim all of this out so I have just the root system itself and all the tuber portions are gone, and bury it in 5-gallon bucket of sand. Just put all these in a bucket and then just layer damp sand over it, put in the stairs of the attic where it's going to get chilled but not frozen, and then 90 days before you intend to plant them outside, for here, zone 5, Memorial Day weekend, pull them out, plant them in party cups, and then you have your plants in order to transplant at the same time as tomatoes. I don't know if I have a lot of rhizomes. Some of them, I think I've got enough to sell, you know, a handful. The really bad ones, I will plant myself, like if they're damaged. Where was the damaged one at? I don't know. But like I can take a large one here, cut it in half, and then I can plant 2 plants in 2 cups for me, and then I can sell the really, really good ones, the pristine ones, Over here, not as great of a bed, but you can see some very nice rhizomes and some small tubers. So I will get those cleaned up, scrubbed off, peeled. You want to peel them, and then I dehydrate them, or I can put them in stir fries that way as well. So that's the wrap up of the garden. Rain's coming in, cold front's moving in, got it all done. Thank you so much, and also thank you for those who have watched and listened to season 7 of the Gardening with Joy and Holly radio show on radio stations across the country, this YouTube channel, and your favorite podcast providing platform. I'm Joy Barrett, and this has been the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener.
For more information, please visit thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.